Greetings, I'm Anthony, one half of the Printy Brothers. Together, Sean and I have decided to create a series where we print and paint every monster from the D&D Monster Manual. In this series, we'll be showing off cool 3D printed models, paint jobs for those models, the lore surrounding the monster, and ultimately how to incorporate them into your games. Last time, Sean painted this awesome angel. Today I'm moving on to the animated objects. So there are a few different animated objects in the monster manual: the flying sword, the rug of smothering, and of course the animated armor. Today I'm painting the animated armor as they are easily the most iconic. I know I've fought my fair share in various adventures throughout the years, and I figured I needed a few more than just one, so I printed 5. These models are from Epic Miniatures. I'll link them below. We had a little bit of trouble finding a good animated armor mini. By their nature, these guys are very thin and flimsy. Even with these ones, I had quite a few problems. A couple of failures on the pre-supported versions were kind of annoying, so I tweaked them myself and they printed much better after that. But these models are still so thin. I had one leg snap off during support removal. But it was easy enough to glue back on with some accelerator. I also had an unintended one-armed variant, who I corrected in the same way. I wish they were a bit thicker, but that's difficult to pull off with this type of monster. For now, I'll just have to be a little bit more careful with them. Now, in theory, an animated object could be any object, so it's not necessarily limited to what's in the book. It could extend to the walls, the floor, or even an entire building. But at that point, is it a mimic or an animated object? Well, I think the difference is in how they are created. Mimics are creatures that disguise themselves as objects. Animated objects are objects brought to life through magical means. How's that for technicality, huh? But enough about mimics. We won't get to them for a while. So most animated objects don't speak. Or, when they do, it's often simple things the creator put in. But the Monster Manual does mention some are capable of adopting personalities and holding full conversations, although it is rare. But it could be an interesting concept to explore in an adventure. An animated object suddenly becomes sentient and the players have to deal with the repercussions of something like that. Or maybe the animated object is being mistreated by its creator. There's a few different interesting avenues you could go down there. Of course, they can also just be used as a combat encounter, which they often are. As for the paint job of these models, it's about as simple as you can get. First, I primed them in black. I started doing a zenithal highlight, but figured I didn't really need to. Then I painted them silver. Then I washed them in black. They were looking pretty good at this point. I could have stopped there, but I wanted to add a little bit more to them. So I decided to do a bronze dry brush over top the entire model. That really brought these things to life. Metaphorically, of course. With all that done, let's take a look at the final paint job. Animated armor isn't really a monster I've used a lot in my games. I feel like they're often used as a quick combat encounter that can potentially act as a drop on the players. I haven't seen them utilized in many other ways, but maybe there are other interesting avenues that could be explored, and those are avenues I might be interested in. As I paint these animated armor, I can't help but come up with stories about how to use them in my future games. And that's one of the best parts about painting, is coming up with the stories. Animated armor may be simple, but the simple act of painting them can be Very inspiring. How would you use animated armor? Let me know in the comments below. Next time, Sean is going to be painting the 𝐂𝐭. Subscribe so you don't miss that.